Delatorre, host and creator of the Pete Delatorre Show. And welcome to Blockchain Talk, a weekly program that takes a deep dive into the blockchain technology. Today's program is sponsored by Blockchain Ecosystem, powered by CrowdPoint Technologies. My co-host is Sean O'Brien Brem, founder and chairman of CrowdPoint Technologies. On today's show, which is a very, very special one, we will hear from 10 global ambassadors of blockchain who will share unique and personal stories that amplify this golden opportunity for the regular person. You will hear words like justice, positive change, empowered, having a choice, revolutionary, and ethical use of data. Now, our first part is a group of individuals from around the world who are going to share their thoughts and feelings about what all of this means to them. Okay, my friends, as promised, we are now going to start a very exciting three-part session here within the big session 3. We're going to get global testimonials on the blockchain technology. With me here right now is my co-host Sean O'Brien Brem, so that we can introduce our 3 guests for the first part of session 3.
Thanks so much, Pete. You know, what's really exciting about today is until now, the word blockchain, the word ecosystem, the word crypto, it's all been just blah. It's just been words, right? What the power of the 4th industrial revolution is with the power of the blockchain is that it's about people. It's about micro entrepreneurs conducting micro transactions and being extremely successful. I was extremely blessed to have the opportunity to meet everyone you're going to meet today. Not only blessed, but extremely grateful, because each and every one of these fine people today are going to talk about why they see the blockchain as unique and why they're diving in. They're just like everyone else watching the show. They're just like everyone else. They just want a chance where maybe technology has gotten ahead of them, and now they want a chance to kind of regain that kind of power back. So what I like to do is introduce all 3 of our members today that are going to talk about, you know, who they are. They've got about a few sentences about why they're interested in the blockchain, and maybe I have a question or 2 for them.
Fantastic. So I guess let's start with Sophia Bojang. Is that the correct pronunciation of your last name?
Bojang.
Bojang.
Is
Got
correct.
it. Fantastic. Yes. So share your story with us.
Well, my story is that I have been a long time working as a cashier and a housekeeper, and I always wanted to have some company and do business, but I didn't know how. So then I got this opportunity with CrowdPoint, and it changed my life already now. And now I know that I can also change some other people's lives. It is bringing justice to business and for us consumers also. So I'm very happy and thrilled to be here.
What part of the world are you from?
Finland.
Finland.
So,
yeah. You're going to see Finland. we've got a phenomenal group from different parts of the world, and that I think reinforces everything here today, because it isn't just something from the States or North America. This is global. It really is. So, Sean, you want to introduce the next guest?
Yeah, Eldon. I'd like you to hear from Eldon. Eldon is always communicating with us like Sophia and Holly are in a real exciting way. But Eldon's got a unique story, and I'd love you to hear about why Eldon joined the blockchain. Eldon?
Hi guys. Thank you for having me on the show. It's a privilege being here, and I can talk a little bit about me. I'm from a little town in Sweden called Timrå. I live with my wife and 2 kids. I'm from Bosnia, Banja Luka. Was born there, and I came to Sweden in the year of '93 when the war happened down there. So now I work as automation engineer in the field of energy and industry. So when I saw this opportunity with CrowdPoint, it felt right from the start. So I just jumped in and joined, and wanted to change something that is going downwards. I want to make this community around me and my family and the community in Bosnia also a bit a bit lucky with this. So that's why I joined, and the blockchain I think levels the playing field between these small guys and the big guys, and where the value of you will be the new oil. And this excitement, knowing this revolution is coming to internet, is mind blowing. So I want to thank everybody who is in this together. So thank you for me.
I love what you
Yes.
said, Eldon. A revolution.
Yeah.
This is a very powerful, positive revolution.
Yes. It's how do you say? I think it's gonna change the playing field from this. How do you say? From these big guys, like I don't want to mention them, but then us who works in this is gonna give us opportunities in life that we just want to dream about, and that's gonna be a domino effect. We're gonna help others in our community also. So that's what I think.
I love it. Sean?
Yeah, so I just, Eldon and Sophia, they write such amazing things on LinkedIn
Yes.
and our Telegram groups. And I'm speechless. And you know me, it's not very often I'm speechless. It's just very powerful. Thank you. I'd like to introduce you to Holly from the United Kingdom, where I grew up, and really excited to hear our friends across the sea, our cousins in England, and get her perspective on it.
Well, I'm excited about CrowdPoint. I really honestly am. I love the fact that there's an ethical use of data. Something I've probably never told anybody, but I was the victim of identity fraud. And if anyone's been a victim of that, they would know how awful and distressing it is. And it's very long lasting. I had to change all my bank cards, my phone numbers, my passwords. It just caused me so much stress. I had somebody that tried to apply for 20 credit cards in my name, and it's destroyed my, your credit score. And it doesn't matter if you're innocent, it's almost impossible to actually get this wrong rectified. And I love the way that through AI, the blockchain, this artificial intelligence is going to turn my devices into a digital fortress, if you like. So no one is going to be able to compromise my information. Nobody is going to be able to exploit me anymore and sell my data without my permission. And the beauty of the CrowdPoint ecosystem is the fact that I have the choice to impart my data, and you will pay me if you decide to use it. But it's all about choice, and I'm empowered now with my own data as to who can use it and how you use it. And for me, that's absolutely sacrosanct. That's unique. It's amazing. It's inspired, and I'm really grateful for that. So that's me.
I really love what you just said. You feel empowered and you have a choice.
Yes.
You know, how many of us feel that we are powerless, and others are making decisions for us?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. Yes.
And that's
Yes.
very disarming. It truly is there. Sean, any additional questions for our distinguished group?
No, I think the biggest thing I would ask each and every one of them is if they were to kind of Sophia, Eldon, and Holly, I would just like your kind of, when you try to describe in 10 words, what the blockchain means to you, just so we can wrap up this first session, just what it means to each and every one of you. You've done such amazing jobs already, but let's just finish it up on really explaining the blockchain in your own words, in 10 words. And I think that will set the tone. Sophia?
It means security and privacy for me, because yesterday I came home and I was saying to my husband that this crown over there, it smells like weed. And I went to internet, and all of a sudden I'm having all kind of commercials about the same subject. So definitely that is it. Like, I don't like that they're listening us and so on. So it's privacy.
Yeah, surveillance capitalism.
Exactly.
Eldon?
Yeah, I talked about a little bit the playing field between the small guys and the big guys. We're gonna be we're gonna make them want us, not stealing our or how do you say, privacy and stuff like that. And so I think we're gonna make the world change for everyone in this Internet of Things. So I think it's a good break for.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
that's great, Eldon. And Holly, the last word from the UK.
Wow. Wow. There's so much to say. How can anyone put it in 10 words? But I mean, it's a decentralized platform that's going to give us financial freedom, security, choice. It's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer.
Wow. I can't, you know what, Pete, I'm speechless, and you know that's tough for me. I'll let you wrap it up.
Well, thanks to the three of you, Sophia, Eldon, and Holly, for being with us today from, again, different parts of the world. But we all have something in common, is that we want to do what's right. We want fairness, and obviously we want privacy in all of this. So on behalf of this show and all of our viewers, thank you so much for being with us here in this first part of session 3 of Blockchain Talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's go on to our second group. These are 3 gentlemen who will share heartwarming and impactful life testimonials on what we're talking about today, this blockchain technology. Okay, everybody, we now continue with session 3, and this is part 2 of session 3. And with my co-host, once again, Sean O'Brien Brem. Sean, let's introduce our 3 guests that are with us now.
Well, I got to tell you, we thought the first 3 were amazing. Wait till you hear these gentlemen's story. All of them just absolutely moved me. And what I'd like to do is just jump right into it. And first of all, I'd like to introduce you into Karsten. Karsten's got a phenomenal story. If I even talk about it, I'll ruin it. So Karsten, can you kind of tell us why you're participating here in the blockchain and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I know we are kind of in a time schedule. So hi to everybody who listened to us. I will try to give it you in a nutshell, and if you still have some time, we can still explore different topics. So my name is Karsten, and I'm in Arizona right now for the last few years, and probably stay here for another few years. But the main point why I was asked to talk about today is my connection to CrowdPoint. And to say it short, I joined CrowdPoint based on my historical experience, what I had so far in my life and my family as well. I would like to start to give you a little story from my grandfather. My grandfather was a German entrepreneur. He built his life 3 times from ground floor. He experienced World War I, World War II, and finally, he ended up in the communist part of East Germany as a broken man. He was broken financially, broken and stolen of what he built in his life, and broken in his mind and his spirit. Unfortunately, I was born and raised in the same communist environment. The German Weimar Republic, or later on the German Reich under the Nazis, and the communist regime were all based on financial control and power over the crowd. Always supported by the big media with tremendous propaganda and lies to manipulate and control the crowd to be in line, saving different interests for a small elite group. I came to America 20 years ago to experience freedom of mind and body. Today, I'm leading about 20 companies with millions of revenues in a year. But unfortunately, history is repeating itself again. A huge propaganda machine and manipulation and controlling the mind of many, many people. The words truth and trust are strange words in our days. And today with the technology, what we have, it is even much easier than in the old days to manipulate and blindfold the people by harvesting their personal data to be used against humanity. It is the time for us to change, and CrowdPoint with blockchain ecosystem can provide important steps to do so. Gaining both our privacy back, protection back, protect our personal data from abuse and manipulation will return the power back to the crowd, to a better life for all of us, and especially for our children.
Wow.
And I think that is the point why CrowdPoint is so important. And it's time that we do something together to make change.
I can't even respond to that one.
I got chills listening to that.
I can't even. It's so much power. I mean, I've talked for hours with Karsten recently, and his story is one that is just the world needs to hear. And that's not, and Karsten's, like, when you hear Harold's story next, I mean, he's got such a great passion, and I just, you know what, I shouldn't be talking again. These people's, these members' stories are so powerful. Harold, why don't you tell everybody about where you're from and why you're here?
Yes, I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the United States, and I am a Vietnam War veteran, a part of the U.S. Air Force Special Ops, and VA rated 100% permanent and total disabled. But I am living a wonderful, loving life. Once the VA gave me 100%, I started receiving some money. And here in Philadelphia and other cities, we have, unfortunately, too many homeless people who are living in homeless encampments. At least they were. And after I received my monthly check, I would take whatever I needed for my own needs and take the rest of it down to those encampments and just pass out a 20 to every person I saw there until everything was gone. But anyway, I feel as though living has returned in grand fashion. And I'm now exerting myself pushing the CrowdPoint cart, bringing happiness and well-being to many, including myself. I am very fortunate. I was not able to attend college as my parents had planned for me to do because I had to go to military. But once I got out of military, I exerted myself, and I was very fortunate to enjoy all the different job opportunities that I had. My first job was as a good humor ice cream truck driver. And then I took a test and became an air traffic controller in the Washington, D.C. area. And being a very young guy in my early 20s, was not settled, still learning life, and eventually moved to California, San Francisco, and became an aircraft overhaul mechanic, and then Silicon Valley, where I worked in biotechnology industry, starting from the ground floor up, because I knew nothing about it. But from the ground floor, I increased their output by 300%. And from there, I moved up. And before my 20 years and towards retirement, I was teaching doctors and scientists how to clone DNA using my company's instrumentation. And then I retired for the first time. Then I started my own businesses in the real estate industry and worked there for 10 years and retired from a second time, moved immediately to Latin America, where I stayed just traveling throughout there and different other parts of the world, hit 20 countries, and returned here a year ago, 2 years ago, sorry. But I am so very happy. And the next thing I knew, I ran across information concerning Dr. Buttar. And of course, I joined his group, which then led to me coming in contact with Mr. Sean and his CrowdPoint group, TAP and such. And to me, that is the absolute greatest thing that could be happening to me at this point in my life. And I just look forward to being able to accept what comes from you to me and then pass those on to others who have greater need than myself.
You know, what you're seeing here, Pete, is when you look at Harold and you look at everybody you've met today, their stories are not dissimilar. They've all had phenomenal experiences, and they're looking just to leverage their experience and put that in the form of smart contracts, to put that in the form of their contribution to the blockchain. And Harold's a great story. He started his life defending this nation, and he loves giving back in a distributed manner. And what better than the blockchain system doing that? And we're just glad to have you along with us, Harold. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Harold, one thing, I'm just so impressed with not just with what you say, but how you say and where you're coming from. Okay, you're coming from the heart, you know, and you've lived so many things. But really interesting, if I heard correct, from selling ice cream to becoming a air traffic controller.
Correct.
What is the connection there? Because there's none whatsoever.
It's like Benjamin Button, you know, all of them are, all three of these gentlemen.
To me, I guess the connection is I missed my opportunity to go to university, but it turns out that was not even necessary. It was about my mindset and getting where I need to go and building from that point.
You've developed what I call the real world PhD. You didn't you did it in a classroom. You did it in real life, my friend. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Robert, I told you were the anchor today. I can't wait for you guys to hear Robert's story. It touched me the first time I read it. And we're just so glad to have you here today, Robert.
Oh, thank you. I feel like I'm the least spectacular of the three people on this call right now, and I didn't really prepare, but I do feel honored. And that was part of my message, that I feel honored and privileged to be allowed to play my role in an ecosystem that levels a playing field for the guppies to compete with the whales. And CrowdPoint, who's also going to tackle surveillance capitalism head on. And that's exactly how I feel, because, much like the other two who came into this, I follow Dr. Buttar, and then we kind of found out about this opportunity through him. And, at first, I guess I didn't introduce myself, that I'm Robert Gerisi. I'm from Albany, New York. I've been working in IT now for 3 decades. I've been involved in it in 4, but I've been working in it in 3. And I deal with relational centralized databases every day of my life. And originally, when I first heard about blockchain, and I kind of, when I wanted to explain what this opportunity was to people, I kind of shied away from blockchain. I thought, that's just going to complicate it. It's going to confuse people. Because I didn't really understand how blockchain actually works and allows this to work. Just because I came from a different world in IT, and I didn't truly grasp how blockchain can leverage leveling the playing field, and that's what it's about to me. Because we live in a time where we're being dominated by big tech and big pharma and big government and big biz, and the whole playing field is just totally tilted in favor of people who are in the know, in the power, in the money. And we've been in this darkness, and it got really dark. It did get very dark for me in recent times, and probably for a lot of people too. And when I saw CrowdPoint, I basically saw a light at the end of the tunnel, just something that I could grasp on for. It gave me hope, and when I saw that hope, I said, I have to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this, and I'm going to commit myself to being I see Sean as a servant leader, and if I could just play a small role in following in that example, that's what I want to be.
Let me tell you something why I asked Robert to be last. Robert's story was so compelling because he came from IT. What Robert eloquently did in this conversation is he talked about going from a centralized mindset, which was the database that he was talking about, and creating that distributed. So it's more egalitarian, where everybody can create smart contracts. That's what really blew my mind when I read, and then his whole approach to this epiphany and journey that he went on really kind of is, he's here because he's the anchor for other people in technology to understand how decentralization is really going to change the way we look at data. So that's why I really asked Robert to kind of be the anchor in today's story, just as powerful as everyone else's. Pete?
Hey, Robert, you crossed the finish line with flying colors, my friend. That was a great way to do that. And the only thing I want to say is thank the three of you for being with us today. It is the word impactful, I think, is an understatement. Carlston, your story was a great eye opener. Harold, what can I say, man? It's the things that you've experienced and now wanting to help others. And Robert, so I'm humbled that the three of you are with us today. I really am.
I'm so grateful for the three gentlemen on today's call today, Pete, Karsten, Robert, and Harold. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much for having us on here.
Take care, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
All right, our last group are 4 entrepreneurial women who will share their enthusiasm about this opportunity and what it will mean to their lives. All right, everybody, this is now part 3 of session 3 of Blockchain Talk, and we've been talking to some phenomenal people from around the world, around the country, on their experience with blockchain and their excitement behind it. And Sean, who's been my co-host throughout this broadcast now, will take it over and introduce the 4 ladies that are with us here now.
Super. Thanks so much. So, Pete, as you know, it's been a crazy, wild ride today with all the discussions about the blockchain and what it means. And I think it's really exciting to round out this last group with each and every one of them. I can tell you, as I said before in the previous meetings and every session, their stories are amazing. And I think what is really exciting for people that are watching this is how this approach to this spreading out, these decentralization, this ability to create micro transactions with micro entrepreneurs is really exciting. And I hope each and every one of you today kind of learned from this last group, not by any necessary means least, on what they want to talk about today. So I thought first we'd start with Diane. Diane, can you tell us a little bit about the 35 words you sent me about, they were great, and talk about why you've decided to jump into the blockchain plunge?
Well, I'm from California in the USA, and I'm a retired college educator. And I've been in the healthcare field in radiology for over 40 years. And if you know anything about healthcare and radiology, then you know it's all about computers, privacy, and innovation. And being retired, I wanted to keep my mind alive. So that's when, Sean, you walked into my life with CrowdPoint. And you often say, when you know why you're doing what you're doing, and you know what you are doing, then you know your why and your what, and the rest is easy. And don't worry about the how. So I'm living that now. Well, when I was teaching, I used to tell my students, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's when learning and growth happen. And CrowdPoint is all about cutting edge innovation, growth, learning, success, gratitude. What a ride. I'm in my 65th trip around the sun. And I didn't know that I could learn so much so fast. I'm not worried about the how. Why? Because I have mindset. And my what is intention. The how will happen. And that's when I'll have success in this new world that I thought only the young inhabited. Well, what I've learned is that no matter your age and no matter what you do or you did in your profession, CrowdPoint is for everyone, even me.
Wow. Thank you so much, Diane. We're going to come back to that in a minute because you said 3 key things I'm going to bring up. But I'd like to jump to Barbara. And Barbara, Could you kind of tell us a little bit about what you sent me and why you really see this industrial revolution coming with the blockchain, and what drew you to this kind of micro entrepreneur strategy?
Hi, thank you for having me today. I'm Barbara. I live in Florida and I am an executive assistant. And participating in the blockchain, for me, the blockchain ecosystem just means everything to the future. It revitalizes small business, it invigorates entrepreneurs, confounds monopolies ruled by censorship, and transforms the world one person at a time. For me, the blockchain ecosystem, it's the change the world isn't expecting.
This is so true. It really is. And we're going to come back to you, Barbara. Every time I get blown away, we think it's going to be quick. We have more. Rebecca, could you jump in this conversation?
Yes. My name is Rebecca Phillips. I'm an RN. I own my own IV business. And this was really unexpected for me. I am not technological at all. What grabbed me was, well, I'm from the Midwest and freedom is like essential for me. It is part of who I am. And so this represented a freedom, a break from centralized economic systems. And that grabbed me. That was it. My heart literally slammed in my chest when I realized it, when I got it. And the information that I've learned in the past couple months with you is phenomenal. I feel like I already got my investment return just in information. So I'm excited about this. It's fantastic. I love it.
Well, what you're seeing here, Pete, and when Bernadette tells her story as well, 4 powerful women in business who are micro entrepreneurs, ready to do microtransactions, all accomplished in what they've done already, and pivoting faster than the big tech and the big corporations can. And that's kind of the message that you're getting from all 3 of them. Bernadette, we're going to have you anchor this and pull it all together for us.
So my name is Bernadette. I live in Chicago suburbs in the United States. I work as a registered nurse with special needs kids, which I love. And I'm also a mom. What brought me here is the idea that it's time to take back our integrity. And with CrowdPoint, I see the light on the end of the tunnel. And I also believe in Sean and his good heart.
Well, thank you so much, Bernadette. Pete, the biggest thing that you're seeing here from all these extremely strong and accomplished women in different walks of life is they really empathetic, with empathy, understand that the blockchain is going to create more of a sharing economy, more of an egalitarian, decentralized. And I think that's something you and I have talked about on all these shows so far, right, Pete?
Yep. I got to tell you, the 4 of you, phenomenal messages. Individually, you have your own message, but I'm seeing a common denominator here, which really boils down to faith and belief, and doing things that are full of passion and where you're following your heart, and you're not trying to figure it out all by yourself. You've spoken with Sean and the whole team, and that message which is an authentic message of doing something very, very special at a very timely moment in all of our lives in the history of the world with everything going on. I mean, when we talk about the big tech and the big companies and the opportunities that have not been there for the regular person, for the little guy, for all 4 of you, I'm seeing the connection with the 4 of you, and it's, again, I think it's about faith, it's about belief, it's about hope once again, and doing something that's meaningful. And it's fulfilling your lives, and while you're doing that, you're fulfilling the lives of so many. So it's just wonderful to see this, and our other 2 groups, again, same connection. Everybody is here because they want to be here, and they're here to work. They're here to work, but do good work. And that's
I think that's important. I mean, let's just if you look at the kind of themes. I mean, you look at Rebecca, very successful in healthcare. You look at Diane, very successful as a teacher. You look at Barbara, you look at Bernadette, both of them are providing unique interest into the organization. That is the decentralized nature of the blockchain. Each one of these ladies, strong women with their ability to bring their own unique piece to this as part of their own version of a smart contract. All of them understand that when you decentralize things, it becomes more immutable. It becomes more safe. It becomes more accurate. And more importantly, it removes a centralized control. And I think that the thing that blew my mind when we started this business was how everyone is naturally coagulating to this concept of decentralized is actually good. Why do we have a few people making the decisions for the rest of us? Why can't I just go back to what was the founding of all barter and capitalism in the beginning days, which is microtransactions by micro entrepreneurs and taking care of their family? And it's so, I saved all of them to the end because when I saw the exact same thing when they wrote about themselves. I said, well, I'm going to naturally put this in. And then what's funny, we had a call and they naturally organized themselves to the last group as well, because I didn't want to push them there. But it's this message. I can't think of a better anchor message from everybody else that's spoken today, Pete.
This is phenomenal. Any final last words from the four of you?
Well, I really think that the CrowdPoint blockchain is just like the general store of generations past. It's like our hub, and the exchanges are our resources, and the general stores of yesterday had social interaction and real estate opportunities, medical advice, professional development, everything at your fingertips. And I just feel like CrowdPoint's blockchain exchanges are the general stores of tomorrow. And I want my children and grandchildren to have that same opportunity that I had yesterday. I want them to have it tomorrow. Thank you.
And also, hello? And also a lot of people are still dreaming. And with CrowdPoint, we can really change the world. And I'm a dreamer also.
Love it. Love it. Diana, Rebecca?
Well, it's a global society and it's a global market, and I'm part of it. It's amazing. I cannot believe where this is taking us.
Rebecca, you want to take the last words?
Sure. I have 6 children and 6 grandchildren, and I can't wait to share this with them. Some of them will be coming in, and it's fantastic. It's the future. They're the future. This is the future. It's great.
You know, Pete, my mind is racing on what all these ladies said, and good news, we get to watch this and synthesize it. But the general store concept, Bernadette and Rebecca and Diane, I thought Barbara nailed it. What do you guys think on that?
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Pete, I'm going to hand it back to you to wrap this up.
We're going back to basics, folks. We're going back to the good old days when we did business with the spirit of win-win for everybody, and we had the confidence that that we would be able to have a great life, and we wouldn't have to worry about others watching what we were doing. We could make our own choices, make our own decisions. We're empowered to do that with the blockchain, and I think it's great. So thanks to the 4 of you for taking the time to be with us here on this special series. This is session 3. This was part 3 of session 3, and just as powerful as our other 2 groups. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Thank you once again to our phenomenal team of global ambassadors, and who, by the way, are part of the family of distributors for CrowdPoint Technologies. A super big thanks to Sean O'Brien Brett, my co-host every week on this program. Make sure to watch Blockchain Talk each Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Of course, sponsored by Blockchain Ecosystems, powered by CrowdPoint Technologies. We're on Facebook Live and on my YouTube channel, Pete Delatorre. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Pete Delatorre. I want everyone to have a great week. Thank you very much, and God bless.